Well, it's the middle of August, so it's time to go tootle around the garden again. I'll show you what I picked today. Lots of beautiful squash and tomatoes and whatnot. I get that much about every maybe 3 days or so, depending on how everything's doing. Quinoa is starting to dry out. I'm not really sure when that's ready. I'm kind of playing it by ear. Amaranth got huge. Seems really happy here. And the corn looks good. The zucchini and the heirloom pumpkin over here got hit hard by spider mites, so I've been spraying those with insecticidal soap and they seem to be bouncing back a bit. The melons all look good. They're climbing their trellises, and there's some big melons in there and some even hanging off of the trellises. You might be able to see the watermelon all the way in the back. Lots of aphids in there, so I'm having to spray that as well. And you have to spray the backside of every leaf. It's really difficult. I call it my insecticidal yoga. And the cucumbers also got hit really hard with aphids, so backside of all those leaves are getting sprayed, but they seem to be bouncing back. This heirloom pumpkin is just nuts. Those leaves are huge and it's climbing up the persimmon tree. The eggplant below it look pretty good, and the zucchini. And the grapevine is doing well. And I'll show you some of these beautiful clusters that it has. Already turned color. Just gorgeous. I might even pick them soon. There's some disease going on in this bed. I always get wilt disease and whatnot on my tomatoes, but I usually let them hang out, and sometimes they outgrow them depending on what the disease is. That one I think is bacterial. This one I know is early blight. That one at least I can treat for. And the beans look pretty. Not very productive yet, but they have little fruits, so I think they're coming along soon. Flowers are blooming. The bees and the butterflies love those. The tomato forest still looks really good. I really lucked out on disease in here. No real hardcore wilt diseases, just some leaf spot and early blight, and that can all be treated with copper. So the tips are all still growing. It's still setting green fruit, and I think they're all going to be good for a while yet. The corn looks good. It's all falling over because I fertilized it too much, but it's setting some nice ears. And the kale still growing and still delicious. I fight with the gopher over it, but I usually win. All in all, everything looks pretty good. And that's the garden in August.